Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Tamra Judge admits she was too hard on Shannon Beador after tumultuous RHOC season 18. After one of the most dramatic seasons of The Real Housewives of Orange County, the entire cast will unite later this week to unpack all the events. That means Shannon Beador will have to face friend-turned-nemesis Tamra Judge, and we're unsure how things will end for them by the conclusion of the three-part event. It's not news that Tamra has been the target of much vitriol from fans for how badly she's treated Shannon this season, so it was inevitable that she would try to get back in their good graces. Tamra is visibly calmer at the reunion than she was during the season, which shows her in a different light. In a first look at the episode, Tamra admits she was too hard on her former ally, but Shannon isn't ready to move on now and even calls her rival toxic. When you think about it, Shannon had to relive the trauma Tamra's insults inflicted on her because she watched the episodes before reuniting with her fellow cast members. In perhaps one of the most surprising parts of the sneak peek, Emily Simpson says that Tamra should apologize to Shannon, but Tamra thought she meant Shannon should hand out the apology. Tamra may still be Shannon's biggest hater. It highlights that Tamra is still anti-Shannon and is only going out of her way to win some favor with fans because if she had it her way, Shannon would look like the villain. The former friends have taken many digs at each other in the media since filming wrapped on season 18, but fans have sided mainly with Shannon amid intense scrutiny from her co-stars. There's even a point during the reunion when Shannon claims their friendship wasn't in a good place, even after they repaired their rift while filming season 17. Tamra responds that they spoke to each other every day and that she thought they were on good terms, so there seems to be a bit of revisionist history going on between the women. Even if Tamra sides with Shannon during the first part of the reunion, it's hard to imagine her doing the same when Alexis Bellino waltzes onto the stage to open up about the season. Of course, we didn't learn much about Alexis this season, aside from the fact that she really loves John Jansen. Alexis made big mistakes during her return. Emily recently criticized Alexis because she thinks the returning star fumbled her big comeback. It will be interesting to see how things go when the episodes air because Tamra is chanting that she wants to find some common ground with Shannon, but that seems out of the realm of possibility. Shannon has also been vocal about not returning to the show if Alexis secures a contract for season 19, so that leaves us questioning where the show will go next. Shannon admitted on screen that she wanted to create healthy boundaries in her life, including staying away from Alexis and possibly Tamra. The lights dimmed in the Bravo studios as Tamra Judge settled into the plush interview chair. For years, she'd been the queen of confessional moments, known for delivering zingers and dishing out hard truths on the Real Housewives of Orange County. But this time was different. This wasn't about calling someone out or breaking down another feud. This time, Tamra was here to talk about a personal revelation, one that involved her friend, Shannon Beador, and the intense ups and downs they had endured together during the infamous season 18. Looking back, I see things differently, Tamra began, her voice softened, perhaps for the first time in ages. Her eyes darted downward before meeting the camera with that unfiltered sincerity fans had come to expect from her. I was too hard on Shannon. I can see that now. For many fans, the season 18 reunion had felt like a powder keg. After a season filled with biting remarks, escalating confrontations, and countless tears, watching Tamra and Shannon's strained relationship unravel further had left viewers stunned. The two had once been nearly inseparable, the epitome of Orange County sisterhood. Wild, fun-loving, and fiercely loyal. But as the season progressed, that bond showed cracks that seemed irreparable. The reunion was perhaps the hardest part for fans to witness. It was clear that Tamra was holding onto years of pent-up grievances. She accused Shannon of being self-centered, of not being there when she needed her, and perhaps most painfully, of not caring enough about their friendship. Shannon had fired back, but her pain was visible. Her voice trembled as she recounted her struggles with her recent DUI scandal, her relationship issues, and her battles with anxiety. For Tamra, that night marked a turning point. She left the reunion feeling oddly empty. It was the opposite of her usual sense of satisfaction after delivering a pointed argument or defending herself against her castmates. She felt like she'd lost something essential, and it had only hit her after the cameras stopped rolling. "The truth is, I was angry with Shannon, but I was angrier with myself," she admitted. Part of the issue, she explained, had been her own insecurities. Tamra had only recently returned to RHOC after taking a break from the show. In her time away, she had felt her relevance slipping in the whirlwind world of reality TV. Coming back meant proving herself all over again. "I had this pressure to make my mark, to come back strong, and honestly, I might have leaned into that too much," Tamra admitted with a sigh. And unfortunately, Shannon was an easy target. Tamra's realization wasn't just about her role on the show, it was also a wake-up call for her personal growth. After filming Wrapped, she'd spoken with her husband Eddie, who'd encouraged her to reflect on why she had such a strong reaction to Shannon. "Eddie's always been my rock," she said, a faint smile creeping in as she spoke. "He told me, you have to ask yourself if you're mad at her, or if there's something else going on," and he was right, a lot of it was me. One of Tamra's biggest regrets was her reaction to Shannon's DUI incident, which had been one of the season's most publicized moments. "Looking back, I can see how hard that was for her," Tamra admitted. "It's one thing to have problems with alcohol. It's another to have those struggles out there for the world to see." She sighed, remorse in her voice. "Instead of being there for her, I judged her. I thought I was toughening her up, but I think I just added to her pain." The reflection hadn't come easily. It took weeks, even months, for Tamra to understand the real impact of her actions. She started by replaying specific moments in her mind: the intense confrontations, the silent treatment, the comments she'd made both on and off camera. "It's humbling to see yourself like that," she confessed. "You think you're being honest, being real, but sometimes you're just being mean." By the time the reunion aired, Tamra had reached out to Shannon, and they'd begun the slow, tentative steps toward reconciliation. It wasn't an instant fix. Both had hurt feelings and fractured trust that couldn't be mended overnight. "I don't expect us to just be besties again," Tamra clarified, "but I do want to build back that trust. I want to prove to her that our friendship means more than any drama on the show." In many ways, the experience also helped Tamra reconsider her own approach to conflict. The self-proclaimed hurricane of RHOC fame, Tamra had built a reputation for her no-holds-barred style. But after season 18, she realized that maybe her blunt approach wasn't always the right one. "I think I used to see kindness as weakness," she reflected. "I thought being strong meant going in hard, no matter what. Now I see that sometimes the strongest thing you can do is just listen." As for Shannon, Tamra admitted she'd come to admire her resilience. "She's been through a lot. I didn't give her enough credit for handling her struggles the way she did," Tamra said, her voice almost a whisper. "We may not agree on everything, but I can respect her journey. I see now that she didn't need tough love from me, she needed friendship." The question now was where Tamra and Shannon's relationship would go from here. Would they return to the carefree, fun-loving days of old, or was their friendship now forever altered by the weight of past grievances and on-camera drama? Tamra wasn't entirely sure, but she was willing to try. "I've learned that real friendships aren't always pretty," she concluded. "They're messy, complicated, and sometimes downright painful, but they're also worth fighting for. I hope that Shannon and I can find our way back to that place where we used to be, or maybe even someplace better." As Tamra left the studio that day, a sense of relief washed over her. She felt lighter, like she'd finally let go of the weight she'd been carrying since her return to RHOC. It wasn't just about making peace with Shannon, it was about making peace with herself. For the first time in a long time, Tamra felt like she was ready to move forward, wiser, humbled, and just a little more willing to embrace the softer side of herself. Tamra knew there were no guarantees in the world of reality TV. Relationships could be fickle, alliances could shift, and the camera would always capture every misstep. But as she left that interview, she was content with the knowledge that she'd made her own personal comeback, not just as a housewife, but as a friend. As the credits rolled, fans could only hope that this newfound clarity would carry Tamra and Shannon into a more positive future. After all, no one truly wanted to see them torn apart. Perhaps, just perhaps, the Real Housewives of Orange County could find room for reconciliation amid the feuds. For Tamra Judge, it was a beginning.